Hello everyone. In the next edition of the interview series, our guest today is Mr. Kaushik Lele. He is a software architect by profession, working with a multinational company in Pune. He is a language lover at heart, with Marathi as his mother tongue. He also went on to learn Tamil and Gujarati through self-study. He has developed online tutorials for those who want to learn Marathi or Gujarati or Marathi and Gujarati through self-study. These tutorials are free of cost and they are available on his website www.learnmarathivithkaushik.com. He also enjoys reading and writing reviews for them. So in the past 5 years, he has written around 200 book reviews for English and Marathi books, which are available on his website under the tab My Book Reviews. So come join me in the conversation with Kaushik to understand his journey. Welcome to the show, Kaushik.
Thank you.
Nice
for inviting to me.
First of all, let me congratulate you for doing this wonderful job of teaching Marathi and Gujarati online. That's really commendable. This breaks all the barriers and makes your teaching available for everyone across the globe. How did you think of doing this?
So personally, I like learning new languages. So I had learned Tamil and Gujarati when I was in my school. It was just like for fun, out of curiosity, I learned them. And that's why when I was in my first company, I used to talk with my Gujarati colleagues and Tamil colleagues in Gujarati and Tamil. So when my non-Marathi colleagues who had come from other states to Pune to work here, so they started to think, okay, can you help us to learn Marathi? And that was the first time that I thought that, okay, that I can help them. The way I learned the languages, let me help them. And at that time, I also searched that the existing books which are available or the existing websites that are available to help them learn Marathi. But I thought that they were not in a very helpful, they were not prepared in a very helpful way. It's like full conversation was given. It was just the list of words, like name of birds, name of animals, numbers in Marathi, name of days in Marathi. But hardly any resource talked about the sentence structure. And so I could understand how if someone just learns the words by heart, he won't be able to make a sentence out of it.
Correct.
So I thought, okay, some different ways needed to help them. And that triggered, okay, let me think the way I learned these languages, the grammar-based approach, can I use the same way to teach them?
Okay, so you said you learned different languages. So which sites or which books did you use for them? Were they available already? Or did you have to, look around a lot?
So for Gujarati, I did not refer a book as such because my father knew Gujarati. He used to bring Gujarati newspapers or magazines like Chitralekha to our home. So at that time, I just got the basic book which teaches alphabet. In Marathi, we call it Ankalipi. So Gujarati Ankalipi I bought and learned the basic alphabets. And then just started reading the Gujarati newspaper or magazines. And because Gujarati and Marathi have lots of similarities, I could understand the meaning and I could guess what could be the meaning of a new word, even if I didn't know it. But for Tamil, I referred a book. It was by Balaji Publication. Learn Tamil through Marathi in 30 days. It was a small book, but that gave me confidence. Okay, if you teach someone a language in this way, with teaching the basic building blocks, that is easy and it is possible to learn it. So that was good.
Starting from the scratch is better always with alphabet.
Yes, right. Okay. And when I learned, it was I was in 9th standard, so around 25 years back. Back, not 25, around 20 years back. So
yeah. Okay.
So at that time, the internet and websites, they were not that popular.
That yes.
Yeah.
Not like today.
Right. Not like today.
And why do you think, like, you have students all over the globe? So what do you think is the motive, to learn Marathi or Gujarati? Because these are not common languages.
Right.
So like people learn foreign languages or they will learn Urdu because there is a about these languages. So, what is your experience?
So, major chunk of my students are those who have come to Maharashtra, either Mumbai or Pune, for either job or education, the further education.
Mhm.
Some learn because it is mandatory for, I think, bank exams to pass the language proficiency test, LPT,
Okay.
which they call it. And the other major chunk is those who are in love with a Marathi person or already married with a Marathi person, and they want to gel well with their new families, extended families,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
why they have this sweet reason to learn Marathi.
That's wonderful.
And few are interested in learning Marathi because of culture or literature. Or like I had few emails from the overseas students who had visited some spiritual places in India, or some had come down here to learn yoga, and then they
Oh,
wanted to read the material of their spiritual gurus whose native language was Marathi. That is also another reason.
those are the reasons.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
right.
okay.
Interest.
Yes, so there are some sweet and some academic reasons.
Right. And obviously, the language lovers like us who just
Yes,
learn language for fun, not for any purpose or career, academic or.
that's true.
Yeah.
So, before you started teaching online or you created these courses and to post them online, did you take any special training for these, teaching techniques?
No, not a training as such I took because when I started, because I started teaching it to my colleagues, so it was kind of informal. It was not like I have to conduct a classes as such. And then I knew that I am just teaching my mother tongue. I just want to tell them how I write the sentences, how I create the sentences, and the simple sentence structures. Because from the beginning, my focus was, though I'm taking a grammar based approach, I'm not going to teach grammar, what can I say, formal grammar as such, and I will try to minimize or avoid the grammatical jargons as far as possible, because the word grammar itself mostly intimidates people and then they take up back. So that's why I didn't take any course as such. I just started teaching the way I will think that I want to teach someone.
Okay, so because you're a self learner, it helped you already.
All right.
So, already what are the obstacles?
All right. And the way I learned Tamil at that time, in that book also, they had taught it in the grammar-based approach, like which are different pronouns, what are different nouns, then how the verb is created in different tenses and different phrases. So I thought, okay, that is the way. If you teach it in that format, then it will be easy for anyone to learn and be independent speaker. Actually, this is the same format which we learn English if you are from the any vernacular medium. Like I learned in Marathi medium, so from fifth standards I had English as a subject. So
Okay.
there, teachers always teach us, okay, I, you, we, these are the pronouns. Then for I, you, I am, and then you add ing. I
Okay.
am going, I am doing. So same format is what I followed,
Okay.
and
Okay.
which I thought that was missing in the other books or the websites.
So you took a practical approach, I think. What is required,
Right.
right? Instead of any academic training. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Because the words like name of fruits, name of vegetables, or numbers in Marathi, that will be needed, but that will be secondary. Right? On the day when you don't need you are not immediately going in the market and asking for vegetables.
right.
Even for the numbers in Marathi are not as simple as in English, because in English they're cyclic, like 20, 21, 2, 3, 4. You just add the number. But in Marathi, Hindi, we have different words for each number: 21, 22, 23, 32, 42, 52, and each has a different name as such. So it's a user or the learner has to learn it by heart. But that is not needed immediately. Even if you go outside, people around us understand the English numbers, 12, 22. So that's not a day one requirement.
Okay. Okay. So it will come later once you teach them the structures. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So have you learned any more languages than Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, English, obviously, because it's a day-to-day language nowadays.
Right. And Hindi as part of the schooling.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Have you
nowadays
learned?
I'm learning Chinese online.
Chinese?
Mandarin.
Mandarin. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And I started learning German few years back. I had even bought a book from Mr. Avinash Ginivale. He's a renowned linguist.
Yes.
Yeah. And he had written the books to teach German from Marathi. So I bought his books and I started learning from them. But at that time, I thought, okay, it is quite similar to English. So if I put some efforts, I will be able to learn basics through self-study. Right. And also, it also needs a lot of things to learn by heart. It is something similar to Sanskrit, lot of rules and all. Yes, that's true. So I thought, okay, let me try some completely different language like Chinese, which has different alphabets. Its structure is completely different. It is like Indo-Germanic languages, which we are familiar with. Correct. Its scope is totally different, and the script also. Yes. Yes. So, can you tell me how is your course different from other courses that are available? So compared to other courses or the websites available or the books available, I have taken a grammar-based approach where I start teaching the sentence structure instead of just giving ready-made sentences or ready-made conversations. Like first I teach the basic words like pronouns, I, you, we, ami, tumi, me, apan. Then what is the sentence structure in Marathi, which is different than English. Like in English, there will be subject, then verb, and then object. In Marathi, verb comes at the end. So that is explained first. And then how verb changes based on the person who is doing action. Like if it is a boy, it will be me boleto. If it is a girl, it will be me bolete. So there I explained that based on the pronoun, its gender, the suffixes changes. For a boy, it will be to. For girl, it will be te. And then I give list of all such suffixes in the tabular format, so that user can immediately see, okay, I'm talking about you, and you, the other person is a boy, so I should add this suffix. So that way, I give the tabular format and then give few examples. So first, I have taught all the basic tenses: simple present tense, past tense, the perfect tense, and then I go for the higher level sentence structures like phrases, like used to phrase, would phrase, should phrase, I should, you would, all those kinds of phrases. And once this sentence structure is explained, then I go for the simple sentences in day-to-day communication, and then the conversation. I take a scenario and I have listed 15 to 20 scenarios and created a dummy dialogue as such. Okay, if you have gone to a shop, how will you will talk to shopkeeper and he will respond, "Mala ek biskitacha puda dya, kiti rupaye zale, how much is the money?" And those kind of simple sentences. So that user can relate it to the day-to-day language, day-to-day conversation, and also the student will know what is the sentence structure. So obviously, whenever someone reads the initial lessons, he or she won't be able to learn everything by heart, but at least they will know that this is the sentence structure. So whenever they come across a ready-made sentence in those conversation section, they can decipher it. Okay, now because it is a boy, he is saying "me bolto." Now because it is a singular object, he is saying "hawa ahe" instead of "have ahe," and that way. So as I always tell them, that you just go through all the lessons once and keep all these things in your mind. Okay, these are different kind of sentence structure. These are different variations, and then when you start reading the sentences or conversation or any material, say if someone is reading newspaper, then you will be able to relate it. And then when that process will happen multiple times, then you will be able to learn it by heart. You don't need to remember all the rules by heart. Otherwise, it will be either boring or it will be difficult, because it is very, very difficult. Like similar suffixes are there in different different tenses or different phrases. It will be confusing. Okay, which phrase I am referring to? Practice will help. And then for each lesson, I have created the YouTube videos also, where I have read that complete lesson, so that those who cannot yet read the text or read the script, they can listen to it and understand the pronunciation. Okay. And I think you have recently also started video chat sessions, right?
Like you
Yes.
chat with your students and solve their queries. Am I right?
Yes. So last year I used to conduct a video chat session with my Indian students as well as the foreigner students. Twice or thrice a week it used to happen. Currently, because of my time limit, I'm keeping it only for overseas students. So once on the weekend, once every weekend, we have a 1 hour session where it can be an open conversation about any topic, or sometimes we decided a theme. Okay, next time as a homework, you just try to write sentences on this particular topic, and then we'll all discuss with all the sentences. For example, last week itself, we had decided the topic of social media. Like, just write simple sentences about my experience with social media, and then we will check your translation, and then we'll help you to rectify the mistakes. So then students have written, okay, मी पूर्वी फेसबुकवर होतो, आता मी ट्विटर वापरतो, there are many friends, and all such sentences.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And especially the overseas students need more help, because the pronunciation as well as some concepts which are like more related to the culture. So an Indian person can immediately understand what we are saying, but a foreigner student may not understand. Especially the thank you and sorry thing. Like once I had the conversation about the means we had decided a topic, like you have visited to your friend's place, and then how will your conversation sound when you're talking with his family members. Then obviously as they were from the European countries, after the scenario was like that a friend's mother has served you something, then obviously the response will be thank you auntie, or thank you madam. But I said in India we won't say like thank you for everything. If you're gone to your friend's place and she serve you puran poli, thank you back. We don't say thank you so frequently.
So frequently.
Right. So Indian person will immediately understand, because yes, that's the cultural background commonality we have.
That's great. So, can you tell us about your project of transliteration from Marathi Devanagari to Roman? So, what is it exactly?
So throughout my this tutorial, I have given the Roman transliteration of all the Marathi sentences. So even if a person does not immediately learns Devanagari scripts, or it takes him or her time, that won't hinder the progress. They can still read the romanization of that sentence, like mi jato, then mijato. So he will be able to read the sentences.
So like a phonetic typing we do.
Right. And then I have at the beginning of the lessons itself, I have explained them what kind of let's say the structure, or uh, the replacement of Marathi with Roman I'm using. Like for I'm using capital N, for no I'm using small n, because when you are typing Marathi sentence, everyone follows different way. For A, some uses double A, some use capital A. In some fonts, some use A with strike above it, or so on. So in the first lesson, I explained what kind of convention I will follow. And then when I completed all this lesson, I will always suggest user to read Marathi newspaper or any short stories. But then I found that okay, if they are reading those texts, Marathi texts, and if they are still not comfortable with Devanagari, then that will be a problem for them. Then, like I have given the transliteration in my tutorials, someone need to provide them that.
Yes.
Then I developed that tool into my website, where a student can copy paste the text in the Devanagari and then generate transliteration. We generate a Roman phonetic from, so that it will be easy for them how to read that sentence or how to read a particular word. Because in Roman we do not combine the characters; we write the characters one after another. But in Marathi, when we have that combined character Jodakshar, the character form itself completely changes. Like when you are writing dra, then the, and then strike below the the. So initially that Jodakshar part becomes difficult for a learner. So that way, if they know the transliteration, they can understand. Okay, this is the
Yeah,
These are
that's
the
true.
sounds in that word.
Yes. But this is a lot of hard work, Kaushik. So to teach also, to develop all this. So do you do it yourself or do you have a team with you?
No, I'm doing it all myself.
All by yourself?
Yes, all by myself. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. That's really
Yeah.
wonderful.
And as I'm a software engineer, I could add the technical touch to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can easily shift between, language teaching and technical
Yeah.
stuff. Wonderful. You developed recently an app for Marathi dictionary for
Mhm.
learning, right?
Right.
So again, the same question: did you do it alone, or somebody is helping you, or you developed it on your own?
Yeah, app development and everything, I have done it all by myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this app is for Android and iPhone also, or laptops also. How is it?
No, it's only for Android because I knew the Java language which Android development uses, so it was easy for me.
Uh-huh.
And I have also included that dictionary into my website now. So
Okay.
even if user doesn't have, I mean, irrespective of Android or iPhone, you can just use it as a website. So you can add a word into it and get the details of that word.
Okay. So this dictionary, the entries you have provided in it for Marathi and English and Gujarati, obviously. So is it related to only your course, or anybody can just search any word in that? For example,
Yes,
I'm
anyone
doing
can search.
so can I use
Mhm.
that?
Yes, and this dictionary is a bit different from the usual dictionaries which we use, because in our dictionaries we will have, say if you're referring to English to Marathi dictionary, you
Hmm.
will have English word and then all the words, Marathi words
Hmm.
for that English word. So this
Right.
dictionary is more about noun forms and the dictionary which gives the details about the nouns into the Marathi word. So in
Okay.
Marathi, for each noun has gender,
Hmm.
and it has different. The plural form is also different. So my focus is more on giving those details instead of. Um, so it's not like a replacement of any other existing dictionary also, but it's like augmenting the existing dictionaries. So if I
Okay.
give the example, like
Uh-huh.
door is the English word, and
Okay.
it's in Marathi there are two words for it, darwaza and dar.
Okay. Yes.
But for a learner, just knowing these two words is not sufficient because they also need to know what is its gender.
Hmm.
Because when they know that darwaza is masculine, then only they can form a sentence, me darwaza ugadalla
Huh.
and me dar ugadale.
Hmm.
Now because darwaza is masculine, they have to make it ugadalla, and because dar is neuter gender, they have to make it ugadale.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
so they need to know the gender of the words.
Okay. So
Similarly,
if
they need to know
you
the samanya roop form of the word. Like
okay.
in English, we don't change the word like on the table, under the table. But in
Hmm.
Marathi, we say tebla वर, tebla khali. We don't
Huh.
say table वर. Means we can use, but generally we make it tebla वर, tebla khali.
True. True.
So we made table to tebla.
Huh.
Like there is a water in the pot.
Huh.
So we won't say माठ मध्ये. We'll say माठामध्ये पाणी आहे.
Huh.
So mat changes to matha.
Matha. Huh.
Same way, same way each noun changes, and
Okay.
based on whether it is masculine or feminine, neuter, the way
Hmm.
the form is different, and there are a bit irregularities. So I've given that form and also the plural form.
Plural forms. Okay. So it's very good for learners actually.
Yes. So if
They
a
don't
person
have
knows
to.
yeah, so if a person knows a Marathi word, then
Huh.
he can use that word and search to get its more details.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like exist by using the traditional dictionaries. You will, if a English person will get the Marathi word, but there he won't get all the other details which we talked about. So then he can
Hmm.
search that Marathi word in my dictionary and get those details which are
Hmm.
needed for him.
Hmm. Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
So your student Jonathan Galton
Mhm.
came to attend the literature festival in Dombivli all the way from London.
Mhm.
So I read this on your website, some
Mhm.
review I have heard. So how did you feel meeting your student?
Yeah. So actually,
Long-
John was. doing a PhD in, I think, London University, or University in UK. And his topic was about the languages and cultural mix of Mumbai. And that's why he was actually in Mumbai at that time to do their field work and field research work.
Okay.
And so we had met in Mumbai once, and then luckily I told around the same time that literature festival was arranged in the Dombili. It was in my town itself. So I told him that, okay, if you come down, you will have a different experience.
Yes.
And that's why he came here. Yes, he also enjoyed it. The way in the large scale it was organized, it was very wonderful, and a big book exhibition. So, yeah.
Okay, great.
And at that time, luckily, the press persons, the media persons were there. They also get excited. Okay, someone from outside has come here.
Yes.
From the other countries has come and visited. So they got a bite on the IBN Lokmat channel.
Okay.
That was telecasted that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. So many Indians, NRIs, and foreigners are learning Marathi and Gujarati successfully, right? Online and free.
Yes.
So why free?
Because as a software engineer, I have been learning different technologies from the internet. Like whenever new technology comes, you will find that many people have already written blogs on it, developed tutorials and proper videos. So since I have passed out from college, I have not done any formal course as such to learn the technologies. I have been learning all these things through self-study and through online free materials available on the internet. So I would always think that I'm always on the receiving end. People has created such wonderful material online, tutorials, videos, examples, or they share their tips and tricks, and I'm getting benefited from it. What will it be for me to give back to this knowledge community? As a technology, as a software engineer, I may not be yet proficient or very expert in any of the technologies. But then when my colleagues asked me about teaching Marathi, and then I created the notes to teach them, then I thought, okay, this can be a best of two worlds. I want to create such tutorials where people will learn something from me. But if not technology, okay, this is the way I can create. And yes, there was a need for it, because in online materials or books, they were not what I felt up to the mark. So I thought, okay, let me give it a chance. At least I can share whatever I know, and then probably someone can develop further on it. And that's why it started. And as I said, all those material which I learned from has been free. So I thought, okay, let me keep also all these things as free. This is not my profession. Yes, I'm doing it for hobby. The joy which I will get when someone will learn from it, that will be tremendous. It is invaluable.
That's a very noble thought, and it's a very different way of giving it back to the society, as we say. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And it's like serving to the society, serving to my mother tongue, and exposing my knowledge to others. It was kind of good mix for all the.
Yes, good mix of all good things.
Yes.
Certainly. So, do you have any plans to start a language academy?
Not yet, because I think many people ask me such question about do you also provide the exam for it, or do you conduct exams, or do you give certification on it?
Yes.
But for that to do, I think it will need a different level of structure.
Oh.
Because currently it is purely out of my interest, the way I think the language should be, and it is. If you take from the language proficiency, those who will learn from it will be still at the next to beginner level. I mean, it won't be like advanced or very fluent person. So for to achieve that level, yeah, a lot of efforts will be needed, and a lot of structure and thinking has to go. So currently, no plan to start academy as such, because I have working as a software engineer full time and then helping others. So, but I answer their questions over emails or on our Facebook group and this video conferencing session.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, thanks.
So language teaching has two approaches. So one is a
Mhm.
monolingual, like we teach Marathi in Marathi, or like I've learned German through German, or also German,
Mhm.
or French to French, like that.
Mhm.
So it is, and another method is multilingual. For example, you will
Mhm.
teach Marathi in some other language also, like with the help of other languages. So
Mhm.
which method are you following?
So I am following the second way, where I'm teaching Marathi through English and Hindi, and same way
Okay.
Gujarati through English. Yeah.
Hmm. So have you ever thought of the monolingual method? So what are your thoughts about it?
No, actually, I'm a bit interested to know how that monolingual way works. Because if
Yes.
I think like if I want to learn Chinese, and if someone comes and they just start talking into Chinese, how will I understand what they're talking? So I'm personally interested to first learn something language in that way.
Yeah. So
And
because there
yeah,
are
if
there are some approaches where people think that monolingual works faster, or it is more
Mhm.
effective because
Mhm.
you force that student or the
Mhm.
learner to
Mhm.
only think and see those images and learn only through that language. So I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
I will just ask you about it. Since I'm
Yeah.
also into training, so
Mhm.
I'm also using both approaches. I mean, as
Mhm.
and when it is required.
Mhm.
So, but I find multilingual better
Mhm.
than monolingual.
And I think for self-study way, the
Mhm.
way uh, way I feel I have developed the resources. I think
Mhm.
for that approach, we'll have to follow this second way, where you have to use a supporting language.
Mhm.
Because for
Support.
monolingual, you have to be in touch with the person for a long
Mhm.
time, and then constant conversation, and then help will be needed.
Required. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's
So
like
there
you have
are,
to completely immerse yourself into that new language.
yes,
It's,
yes,
it's like how the child learns when he's younger
correct.
in his house. Everyone will
Huh.
talk that language itself. It's not like nobody's teaching the language as such, but it's
Correct.
constantly listening, seeing the things.
Huh.
But yes, I
Yes.
will like to have one such experience of monolingual way of learning.
Maybe you can try Chinese for that.
Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
So, Kaushik, there are a lot of learning apps nowadays. Like we are downloading it from Play Store, like Duolingo, for example, which is the
Mhm.
most famous.
Mhm. Mhm.
What are your thoughts about it?
Mhm.
What do you think? Do people really learn from it?
For Duolingo, even I'm using it for Chinese currently.
Okay.
But again, my approach was more of let me understand the structure first,
Huh.
and then I will go for the sentences, and
Okay.
then I will go for the vocabulary.
Hmm.
So initially, I went through all such videos where they had explained the sentence structures,
Hmm.
or there were other websites where they had explained phrases and explained the way the words are formed. And then I went to the Duolingo to just to do the practice and to learn more words. Because when I had tried this Duolingo for German, I did it for a couple of days, but then I did not find it much useful, because yes, I was just learning new words and they were giving me ready-made sentences, but I couldn't understand. Okay, what does that? How does that work?
Hmm. So I think we
So
have to
those who
use the
find a
combination.
pattern of ready-made sentences, probably it will be more comfortable for them. For me,
Okay.
I like to start with the basic building blocks and then grow on it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And do you think there is a difference between a language teacher doing it professionally, like that teacher has learned the techniques
Hmm.
and methods and everything, and you as a teacher teaching as a hobby? Do you think there is any difference?
Hmm.
I mean, have you come across any such thing?
Uh, because personally, I have not learned those techniques or attended such classes, because I don't know what will be the behavior. So what will be the difference? But yes, if someone has been in that profession, he has acquired that skill, then obviously, compared to a novice or amateur teacher, obviously that person will surely have the different ways of teaching or keeping the students engaged.
Maybe,
So I
yes.
think that will be a difference, but I have not experienced personally.
Okay. I'm sure there must have been stress and fun moments while teaching. So can you share them with us?
Mhm. Stress moments, I don't think I did had any such moment, because obviously because it is not my profession, or it's not like a professional commitment where, okay, I have to meet this deadline. I was doing it based on my schedule and obviously the schedules of others. So it was
No.
going that smooth way.
Okay, let me correct my question. Stress moments
Mm-hmm.
means like sometimes we are teaching a concept to someone. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
during your video sessions or so, and that
Mm-hmm.
person doesn't understand. So it creates a stress for both of you. So the
Mm-hmm.
teacher also and the learner also. So I was talking about that stress.
Okay.
I mean, not stress as such, but it creates
Okay.
that tension between you. Oh my God, you don't
Sometimes
understand
he's not understood.
like that.
Yes, sometimes that happens. Okay, I have told you once, twice, thrice,
Yeah.
but then I have to give them different way of say, okay, you now think it this way,
Hmm.
or you go back to this lesson, try the sentences yourself,
Hmm.
because obviously when you are learning, you want to make a progress very quickly.
Hmm. Right.
So even if I have told them, okay, this is the sentence structure, a
Huh.
person has not gone to that lesson and studied thoroughly, then I have to tell them, okay, now you have to go back, study that, and this time put efforts to learn it by heart. Okay, you may not because you have learned it, you understood, you know that, okay, there will be some suffixes to make the sentence. Now go next level. Don't just say there are some suffixes. You should now know exactly these are the suffixes. Okay, learn it by heart, and then we'll again next time focus only on that part and create different sentences and make it more engaging.
Okay, you have
Because
to be
once
a
that is done, then that's
yes.
then that will boost your confidence. Okay,
Huh.
you can learn it by heart and then create sentences.
Mhm.
So you have to
Right.
some time insist them.
Huh. And were there any fun moments?
Yeah, so for fun moments, like as I said in that example of when we were discussing the conversation between a person visiting a friend's house. So at
Huh.
that time, when you have to explain, okay, the sentence structure, if you translate literally in Marathi, it will be completely,
Different.
it will convey completely different meaning.
Yes.
Or we
Yes.
won't say it at all in this way. So
Hmm.
that culture difference sometimes creates
Okay.
fun, and
That creates.
especially
Huh.
whenever I get a new email, okay, I am learning
Mhm.
from your website and find it useful, and then when I
Hmm.
learn, okay, what is your reason for it, and then I get different reason. It's also a fun and satisfactory moment. Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Okay, now a website
Definitely.
has reached to that country. If I get a new person from new country, okay, this is the first time. Okay, I got an email from Germany. Oh wow, nice.
Very nice. You are an avid reader, Kaushik, in addition to all these other aspects. So, how did you develop this hobby of
Mhm.
reading?
So I had this hobby since my childhood in my school days. So I will
Okay.
give credit to my grandmother, because since my childhood I always knew that she was always a member of one or other library.
Hmm.
She herself used to conduct the Diwali Anka library at our home of
Okay.
their Mahila Mandal.
Hmm.
So we always had this habit of having books around me.
Hmm.
So I think since I think probably sixth or seventh standard, I started
Okay.
going with her in the library to get new books, and then
Huh.
I will go myself and change the books so that I will know, okay, this is the book which I will like to read, or
Huh.
everyone will like to read. So
Right. Right. So, you were surrounded by books. That's why. Right. So, when did
yeah.
you decide to take up, writing book reviews?
Mhm. So I started it 4 years back, 4 or 5 years
Mhm.
back. So as I said, I
Mhm.
have been reading a lot of books, but then when I look back, then there will be statistics that say, okay, I have read so many Marathi books, so many English books, or even
Mhm.
if I have read books, a book which I read say 6 or 7 years ago, I may
Mhm.
remember very little of it. So I thought, okay,
Huh.
I'm reading so much,
Huh.
but I don't remember that much. If I
Hmm.
read say 100 pages book, I may remember only say 1 or 2 pages, or the I remember extract of it. I got the what the author wanted to convey. If I note it down, at least by reading my notes, I will again reflect back and okay, I will get all those context back. Okay, these were the things that were told in that book.
Huh.
So I thought, okay, let me start noting it down, what I liked from the book. So initially, like many people do, note down the quotes from the book or note down a good paragraph from the book. So initially, I started doing that, but then I thought, okay, let me give it a next level. Like the way I had created the blog for my Marathi and Gujarati teaching. If I can share it with others, okay, I read this book, I got these good things from this book, and you may also like to read this book. Then I started it as a blog. Then I would take pictures of the front page and the back page of the book, and then write down the main important parts of the books which I liked and which I would recommend. Okay, this is the book I read, and these are the good points that I like. You may also like to read, or even other way. I read the book and I found it very boring. Just see these examples. These are I just add a few pictures of the pages. See if you also go through it, you may also find it boring, or you can give it a chance. It's not like I find it boring does not mean everyone else will find it boring. But that's what my view. You can give it a chance and tell me what was your experience. So,
wonderful. Yeah, that's good. So, do you choose any particular genre for a book review, or you just select randomly?
oh yes, no fixed genre as such. Whatever book I borrow from my library, and after reading is completed, I write its review. And I personally try to keep changing the genre. That if I read recently a say historical book, okay, then I will go for say novel. Then if it is novel, okay, next time let me take a biography, and so on.
Okay. So, okay. And now, if you want to change anything in this language industry, what would you like to change?
So one thing I would like to see a change is the focus on the Indian languages. Okay. So as I said, when I started, I didn't find very good resources for Marathi online. And after completing Marathi, then I searched for Gujarati, and I found same. There was a lack of such good resources. But we have so many different languages in India which are rich in literature, culture. So such material should be available for all the important Indian languages.
Okay.
If you want to learn Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Assami, Oriya, Kashmiri, the language, the material should be available. And the second thing I would like to see a change is the using the Indian languages as a medium of teaching. Like when I started teaching Marathi, I did it through English, and then when I was teaching it, when my Indian students were learning it, I found it easier to explain them through Hindi, because Hindi and Marathi are very similar. Sentence structure is similar. मी बोलतो, मैं बोलता हूँ, मी बोलते, मैं बोलती हूँ. So they in Hindi also, this is the difference. Like based on the gender, things are changing. It was easy to explain it through Hindi. So same way, if you're teaching Indian languages, if you teach it from any other Indian language, it will be quite easier to explain.
Correct.
So I think if there are say 50 Indian languages, and then all combinations should be possible. That learn Tamil from Marathi, Gujarati, Telugu, Kannada, then learn Telugu from all such languages and so on. So there should be let there be a comprehensive website. You try any combination and you should be able to learn any combination.
Perfect.
So medium of English should not be there.
I hope all Kaushiks from all these languages will, listen to this message and take it up seriously.
Right. So there was one of my students who was Bengali, and he was a college student. So I told him that I encouraged him that, okay, you also start, now you have my website as a basic structure as a reference material. Now you just start doing the same way for Bengali. You take my lesson and just say, how will you teach the same lesson? Say, start with English, because many people will learn through it. Then go for the next lesson and so on. Once that is done, probably you can take the next step. As you are learning Marathi, then you can develop it, learn Bengali from Marathi. That,
Correct.
but yeah, I wish
That's
that
fun.
this. I think Sani Guruji had the dream of Antar Bharati.
Yes.
So
Yes.
such. So I think that will be the extension of Antar Bharati. Let there be material,
Huh.
learn languages.
Certainly. So, what are your future plans?
So I personally would like to learn few more languages as I'm learning Chinese now. And then obviously, if I get a good grasp of any particular language, then as I said, I would like to use Marathi as a medium to teach that language.
Okay, so like learn Chinese through Marathi or learn German through Marathi.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I have learned Tamil, then I had as a fun published a video on YouTube, like me speaking, I speaking in Tamil, and then I get many comments. Okay, do you also teach Tamil? So currently, because I don't have much time to develop all this material, I say that I don't teach Tamil. And for Tamil, there are good materials already available online by different institutes and different enthusiast person.
Right.
But yes, if I teach Tamil through Marathi, then it is easier for the Marathi people.
Definitely.
So some task of that kind I would like to take.
Great. We wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining our show.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to talk with you. And I also really enjoyed it.
So, Kaushik, I have exhausted my list of questions. If you want to add something, we can talk about it. Not a problem.
Yeah, so I would like to tell the URL of my website. So it is learnmarathi.kaushik.com.
Okay.
LearnMarathi.WITH.KAUSHIK.com. And the same website itself has the Gujarati resources, even if the website name is learnmarathi.kaushik.com. If you go to the homepage, you will see 3 different courses of Learn Marathi from Hindi, Learn Marathi from English. And on that website itself, you will find all those tools, the transliteration tool and the dictionary tools that we talked about. So I request all our viewers to go and visit my website. And if you are, even if you are a Marathi person, go through that website in detail, and whatever your feedback will be, do share with me. It may be appreciation, it may be criticism, it may be any suggestion, but everything is important for me. I will try to improve on them. And if you know any person who wants to learn Marathi, Gujarati, please suggest them my website so they can also start learning from it.
Okay, and in any case, we will be giving all the info in the description. Okay, so I'll take you leave then.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have any more linguists, who are doing such nice work, you can refer their name to me.
Sure, I will.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.